Okay, so to wrap up, remember that one of the key things is that services are running in the background. They should not be interacting with the user excessively. So you want to be very careful about how much user interaction that you perform. Make sure it's something that actually makes sense to the user and useful to them. Toast messages are one good way to provide some feedback to the user, but remember that they always have to run on a thread with a looper, right? So we actually use that technique we saw using the handler to get it to run on the appropriate thread for us. Now, if the service has a very direct effect on the user, that's a good time to consider a foreground service, right? Remember, the foreground services elevated the priority of our service, but they also gave us hooks into the notification system, right? So we can actually provide some very visible feedback to them, as well as the opportunity for them to interact by pulling down that status bar and being able to trigger an action when they select something from that service's entry in the status bar. Also remember that status that you put up in the status bar with a foreground service is not static, right? Basically, it's a standard notification at that point. So you can use the notification manager to actually interact with it and affect it. And for dealing with our system environment, right, services very often want to respond to and react to the system environment. They need to know about the events that are going on. The only way to know about those events is to use a broadcast receiver. So as we saw, we could create a broadcast receiver, have it be notified of the system events, and then have it in turn notify our service.